Have you ever laid in bed at night, replaying the moment you yelled at your child, wondering again and again if you're doing any of this right? If you're parenting a PDA child, PDA teen, PDA young adult, I guess that this isn't a rare occurrence for you. What if the thing that's been missing isn't necessarily more advice or the same strategy positioned a different way, but the right people around you, the right guidance planned forward for your family? I'm Chantel. I'm a late diagnosed autistic, ADHD, and I'm PDA myself. I'm a mother of 3 neurodivergent children. 2 of them that we know of are PDA. I have spent the last couple of years working one-on-one with parents, refining an approach that actually works in a sustainable way for families. It is not an overnight fix, and it does take time and practice, and the parents who see the biggest shifts or the biggest family transformations are those ones who are able to look inwards, who are able to reflect on their own parenting approach and their own mindset. Because you could have read every single PDA book out there by every PDA expert. You've read all the research. You've probably exhausted yourself reading the same article or Googling the same sentence, the same phrase over and over again. But the change hasn't happened yet, or it hasn't happened with the momentum that you would like it to. When the approach is the right approach, it is easier, and those strengths get to shine, and your family gets to live a more calm and peaceful home life. You might get to do the things that you never thought you could do. And that is all possible. Whether you do this with me or whether you take more time down your own journey and realize this for yourself, what you hoped for your family, it still is possible. So if you take anything, if you jump out of this episode now, I encourage you to just take that with you. This is possible for your family. You just were not given the correct parenting roadmap, if you will, when you became a parent for your child. We need to shift the focus on how do we take our child that's sitting in front of us, this amazing child, teen, young adult. How do we support them in a way that meets them where they're at in their nervous system, instead of trying to force them into a parenting approach that does not work for them? And if anything, does not work is probably an understatement. A traditional parenting approach, more compliance-based behavior management, embedded in first this, then this, rewards charts, consequences, what we naturally have grown up knowing when we come into parenting, that is actually harmful for a PDA child. I'd like you to imagine finally having a clear map for your child's behavior that you might find challenging, specific goals that actually reflect your family's wants, needs, and values, and people around you that you don't need to explain yourself or your child's behavior or your needs to. I'm so excited to share the PDA Parenting Group pilot program with you. So here is how this works. You start with your one-to-one call with myself. Each week, you get a new released video module with audio transcriptions, and that continues for the duration of your program. And you have lifetime access to these video modules, any course materials, and any enhancements to the course over time. Every fortnight, we will come together as a small group, and the whole time you have direct support within the community between calls. The investment for this pilot program is $497 just for this first round. This is 50% off what this program will cost once I open it on a regular basis. I am intentionally keeping the first round of this program, the first group of parents, small. I have 2 spaces left, and I will be filling them by the end of the weekend. This program is for you if you are parenting a PDA child and you feel tired of generic advice that was never built for their nervous system. If you feel stuck, if you feel like your child is in burnout and you need a way out or a path forward or a plan that actually understands PDA, demand avoidance, the root cause of the anxiety that comes from accumulation of demands and the threat that that creates to your child, your teen, your young adult in their nervous system. You want a specific plan that suits your family, your family's needs, where you are at right now, where your child is at. Not a one-size-fits-all course, but instead a curriculum that you get a chance to shape from the very beginning. That is the benefit of being one of the first members. If you feel ready to start something. We kick off August 3rd, 2026. If you are listening to this episode, that means there is still space available, but there will not be for long. You don't need anything to get started. Just yourself, just your honesty, your openness. So what can you expect? The real question isn't whether this fixes everything overnight, because it definitely won't. I will be very honest with you. PDA is not something that you quickly fix. It isn't even something to fix. A PDA child, teen, or young adult needs change within the parenting approach, within their environments, and they need their main people, their main co-regulator or co-regulators. Usually it is that one, but whoever it is, their main people, they need them to know how to strongly advocate for them, understand how to approach their anxiety. And a lot of the times your child, teen or young adult, may not even know how to do that themselves. And you may be listening going, well, I don't even know how to do that. Those are the things that we help with within this group program. So the real question isn't whether this fixes everything overnight. It's what would it mean for you to stop figuring this out alone, to stop being confused, overwhelmed, exhausted in trying to find the next strategy or the next book or the next article to read, because that might be valuable information. You might find something that you read really helpful, but how is putting it into action? That is what we do within the program. If all of this sounds like a fit, DM me on Instagram, Chantel.Hewitt. I can answer your questions. If you are slightly interested and you're just not sure if it is the right fit, I still encourage you to send me a DM and we can have a conversation back and forth and see if it is the support that your family needs right now. If you're still listening, let me show you why this matters so much to me. I don't do hype, and I'm not going to pretend that this is some magic approach. What I can tell you is that my approach comes directly from years of one-to-one work, refined with real families, and my own, continuously, day in and day out, in real PDA households. I could sit here and describe what this feels like all day long, because I genuinely know what this feels like when you have hit that rock bottom, but then you find the supports that you need to break free from that. And it is closer than you may think it is. I invite you to DM me to have a conversation, ask any questions that you have, just to see if this is the right fit for you. No pressure with the DM. I love chatting with people. I love voice noting back as well. So if you like to voice note, definitely send me a DM and we can have some conversation back and forth. Because whoever does take up these last spots and wants to jump in at being within this group program for the first time, I want you to feel good about that decision, and I want you to invest knowing exactly what you're getting and being assured that this will help support your family. If you are worried about whether this is the right fit, then that is exactly what our DM conversation is for. And if you are thinking it might actually not be the right time right now, then I will ask you this. Is there ever a perfect time to parent your PDA child? Most of the parents I work with tell me that they wish they had started sooner, not later. I don't think I've actually ever got I wish I did this in 3 months. If anything, when the shifts start to happen, when the pieces start to click and connect together, the mindset shifts happen, and it's usually quite soon after we start working together. The parents are going, why didn't I know this sooner? Why isn't it more accessible, this information? And that is why I am taking my one-on-one work and building it into a supportive group format to reach more people, to build that community. Remember, the only guarantee is that if you change nothing, nothing changes. Taking this step is how you find out what's actually possible for your family. And just a final reminder, I do have 2 spots left in this small pilot round. And once they're gone, this 50% pricing does go with those spots. The next step is yours. DM me on Instagram and I will send you everything that you need to decide. I'll see you inside.